Brian.
Hi, Denai.
I'm excited. I heard we're going to make one of my favorite dishes from Foodland Farms, Ala Moana.
Yes, so we're gonna do Brussels sprouts that we do at the store. We're gonna do a little bit of a different version, which is a little bit more simpler, a little easier, a little less prep. So let's get started.
So something I might be able to make myself?
Definitely be able to make.
Okay.
Definitely be able to make. All right, so first thing I'm gonna show you is how to clean Brussels sprouts.
Okay.
So we're gonna take some Brussels sprouts, and then all we have to do is we're gonna take off the stem. So you're gonna cut off the stem part on the bottom.
Okay.
And then a lot of it is just peeling away the leaves, the outer leaves, you know, like just till you get to more of the lighter green. You want to take care of some of the dark ones, especially if they have a little bit of the burns from the exposure to the light.
Okay, and it kind of just naturally stops, right?
It does, right, exactly. So after a few layers, for this dish, we're gonna just cut them in half. Right, perfect. And then I have some over here. Wanna do one more?
Sure.
All right.
Sure.
So the good thing is I actually have some already prepped up for us.
Oh, good. So we don't have to boil them?
No, we don't have to boil them. So they've already been pre-boiled, and then we actually have them dried off a little bit.
Oh, nice.
Because you don't want to add the water to the hot oil like that, because you're gonna get a lot of splatter. Okay, so first thing, we have a nice hot pan right here.
Okay.
And then we're gonna add in some oil.
How do you know how much oil we should add?
Usually for this kind of a dish, you just want to have enough to coat the bottom of the pan.
Okay.
So you just want to should be able to lift it up and around, and it should swirl around, and you just have a nice little shallow pool.
Oh, that looks nice.
Mm-hmm. Now the first thing we're gonna do, I'm gonna turn up the heat just a little bit, is we're gonna add your Brussels sprouts. Okay.
All right.
And you also want to put your vegetables in, or anything into your hot oil away from you.
Going away from you. And we're just going to spread them out around here?
You're gonna just leave, and then
Just leave it.
Just leave it. You're gonna just let it sit like that for a minute or so.
And is that so they brown up?
Yes, exactly like that. So you can start to hear it, and it's starting to sizzling like that. So the main, I think one of the biggest things that a lot of people at home do is they get so panicky about the heat, and they either have it too cold, or they start just fidgeting around with it too much. So what you want to do is be able to just let it sit and let it get naturally charred just a little bit like that, because that's where all the sugars are getting burned in. That's where all your flavor comes from.
I think I get a little anxious when I'm making them, so I probably stir it too quickly.
I know, a lot of people do. Even I do too sometimes. Yeah, so we're just gonna let it sit like that. See, even I want to move it around.
And what else are we putting in?
Okay, so the other things we're gonna put in, at the store we do fresh pineapple and butternut squash. Now butternut squash is really hard, well not really hard to prep, but it does take a little bit of time. You have to clean them, you have to roast them, and then you have to put it in the oven, and we have to take them out and cube them up. So we're gonna do something a little different, where we're gonna actually add canned yams.
Okay.
And then this is pineapple that you get from a can. You can also use fresh pineapple if you want to, or Foodland even actually sells cut pineapple.
Right.
Like that, so.
And does it make a difference in texture or flavor using canned versus?
Obviously, it'll always make a little bit of a difference, when you're using fresh versus canned like that. Obviously, the can is usually going to be a little bit of a softer texture because of that. But I think for, when you're looking at time and convenience like that, sometimes we can still make a really good product with the canned stuff too.
Okay, good. I'm anxious to try it.
All right, so it looks like it's good. So you can start to kind of stir it around a little bit.
So how do you know when you start stirring?
It's really kind
Chef's
of
secret.
Chef's secret 101, right? So I think one of the biggest thing you want to do is it's the eyeball test. You have to really look and just see what it looks like. If you're starting to see like a lot of the edges starting to brown or even turn black, then it's like, okay, well now I have to really start doing something. I have to start moving around, or either turning down the heat.
Okay.
Or if it's not coloring like it is here a little bit like that, we can turn up the heat as well. Like
Okay.
Like that, just to get a little bit hotter. And then also I forgot, you have to season. So for me, I always like to season after a new thing you put in.
Okay.
Like that. So we're always trying to build. You ever wonder why, like when you go to like restaurants and stuff, why everything tastes so good? A lot is because they're constantly seasoning.
Okay.
So
since we put the Brussels sprouts in, then we would season salt and pepper.
So a little bit of salt. So I'm just gonna add a little bit of salt. And because we're gonna add more things into it, we're gonna add about 3 more things into it like that. We're not gonna season all the way because we're gonna introduce more salt and pepper afterwards. Fresh cracked pepper, which is really good.
Oh, that looks good.
Right? And then you can start to see that it's starting to kind of get a little bit of brown here and there like that, so that's good. And then you can hear, it's a lot of the senses that, like how we know things like that. It's a lot of it's just looking at things, hearing it. You can start to smell things.
Right.
Obviously, if you're burning,
Smells so good.
right? Obviously, if you're burning something, then you know something is wrong. But we're not gonna do that here. That looks about right. So we can give it a little bit another stir.
Okay.
And then when you're stirring it, then you can kind of see what's going on underneath. So
Oh
you wanna
yeah,
be
they're
able to-
starting to brown.
A little bit,
A little
right?
bit, yes.
So because the holidays are coming up, I thought this is a really good dish to do for, because, everyone has their turkey recipe. Everybody has
Right.
their, mom's turkey recipe. Grandma does a ham, like that. But side dishes, like that. I think side dishes where, like, there's a whole door of opportunity, like that. So we're going to add pineapple. So this is
Okay.
canned chunk pineapple. Like I said, you can use fresh.
And do you want the juice in there too?
You can add the juice in it too, like that. Yeah. We tried to drain some of the juice like that, but you're also going to get a little bit of juice that's stuck inside.
And I'm guessing I stirred around now.
Stir it around a little bit, and then you can also, again, you can just gonna let it sit,
Okay.
like that.
And the pineapple will brown up and get.
It will get brown because of the sugars,
Yep.
like that. Now at the store, we normally do it on the grill, so it gets nice charred, and you get a real nice smoky flavor to it, like that. But you can do the exact same thing if you want to. I mean, you can actually get grilled pineapples. Go outside to your hibachi and do it if you want to as well. It's starting to, you can kind of see it's starting to kind of brown a little bit, and that's from the natural sugars.
Yes.
So what we want to do is stir it around. Give it a little bit of a
Okay,
quick stir.
stir it one more
Yeah.
time.
Is add a little bit of this is apple cider vinegar.
And what does that do?
So the acidity, it's going to cut through, give it a little acidity, and we're also going to make kind of sort of like a light sauce for it.
Oh, okay.
So you're going to see that, and then you can really kind of smell it. It's that real vinegar smell.
Oh, that does smell good.
Right. And we're just going to reduce it a little bit. And then this is brown sugar. So this is going to add a little bit more sweetness. We're going to almost make like a caramel type sauce.
nice.
Something that's
Okay.
thick.
And then stir it around?
Stir it around, right.
So the brown sugar is what thickens it a bit?
It'll thicken it a little bit because it's almost going to be making like a caramel, like that.
See.
And then you'll have the acid from the apple cider vinegar, which will cut through and give it a little bit of like a sharpness. Like that.
And is there a reason you use apple cider vinegar versus anything else?
The apple cider vinegar, I think, because it's not as tart. It does have its tart, but it also has sweetness, like that. And I think it goes well. I mean, you got pineapple, apple,
Right.
Like a lot of more fruit flavors. You can use like a red wine vinegar, I think, like that. I would stay away from like a distilled white vinegar. Maybe even like a white wine vinegar might be okay. Canned yams.
Okay.
Like I said, you can use fresh yams if you want to.
So if you were using fresh yams, you would bake them probably?
Correct.
And then
or boil them.
till almost done?
Almost done, right, like that. Yeah. So again, we just want to just let it, and then we're going to just let it sit.
Okay.
And then baking bits is always good.
Okay.
So we're just going to add a little bit of baking bits to it. That's going to give it a little bit of savoriness and meat flavor like that. So before this, actually, this was completely vegetarian like that. So if you didn't want, you could omit the bacon as well.
Okay.
Dried cranberries, like that. We don't put the cranberries in when we're cooking because then these burn relatively pretty.
Oh, they do because of the sugar?
Right,
in
exactly
them?
like that. And they're already dry like that. So we're just gonna put a little bit in. That's gonna add a little bit more sweetness to it.
And another color dimension.
Exactly. And then finally, this is honey roasted macadamia nuts. Now at the store we roast and we glaze our own nuts and then we chop it up like that. But who has time for that? Right?
Right.
So we're just gonna do store-bought honey roasted macadamia nuts, and then we'll just rough chop it. You could leave it in even like bigger chunks than this.
Okay. You're gonna plate though, right?
Yes.
Because
Yeah, this is a little bit of a heavy pan. I got my own spoon.
Okay, good.
All right, so we get that, and then we have a little bit more. So let's garnish with a little bit more of the cranberries, just to give it a little bit of nice color, and then just
A few nuts.
A few nuts on top.
Oh, that makes it look really nice.
Right now it's like restaurant, right?
Yes. But how fun to have a dish we could make so quickly and take to someone's house for the holidays
Exactly.
or serve at a party. It's beautiful.
So like even the Brussels sprouts, you could actually boil them ahead of time, and even like the day before, just shock them in ice water and leave them, and then you can finish everything up the next day, just to
that's
save one
great.
less step.
Yep.
So
Okay, should we
try
dig
it.
in? Yum. Oh my gosh. Mmm. Really good.
It's like the acid from with the sweetness and the nuts, and then if you got a little bit of bacon actually. It's really good. For recipes like this and more,
Visit us at foodland.com.